Hello, Erongo Talkers. Adam Hartman here at the Walvis Bay horse stables. And as you can see here, the horses are enjoying a meal. We've got a few animals here. It feels like being in a zoo. But anyway, we welcome you to our next edition of Erongo Talk. We're going to bring you the weather as usual, the tides, and some news. We're also going to be speaking to Heinrich Hafeni, who is the president of the Africa Economic Leadership Council, and he's going to tell us a bit about how the recent Discover Namibia expo and summit that was held in Swakopmund went, and the way forward. So stay tuned. En nou vir ons eerste nuusitem. Pensionarisse landwyd het eergister teen die 6de van die maand steeds nie hul maandelikse toelaag ontvang wat vir baie hul enigste inkomste is nie. Volgens meneer Joshua Odendaal is hy en sy vrou van die toelaas afhanklik en ontvang die egpaar die gewoonlik teen die 3de van die maand. Odendaal meen kommunikasie vanaf die ministerie in die presidentsie verantwoordelik vir die geslagsgelykheid, armoede, uitwissing en maatskaplike welsyn sou die hou van die laatbetaling van toelaas aan bejaardes versag het. Ek dink regtig, 'n SMS sou nie skade gedoen het nie, het hy gesê. Nog 'n begunstigde wat verkies het om anoniem te bly, sê die laatbetaling van toelaas is iets wat gereeld kop uitsteek. Hulle was verlede maand ook laat. In Februarie verlede jaar het hulle dit nooit betaal nie en is dit ook nooit reggestel nie. Dit skep vir my die indruk hulle probeer speel vir tyd om die geld bymekaar te kry, het hy gesê. Minister Doreen Sioka het by navraag gesê sy is onbewus dat pensionarisse steeds op hul toelaas wag. Ek het gedink hulle het dit gekry, het sy gesê, voor sy alle navraag na haar uitvoerende direkteur Esther Lusapani verwys het. Lusapani het laat gistermiddag in 'n verklaring die blame op 'n tegniese fout geplaas en beloof betaling sal vandag of gister al gefinaliseer wees. Volgens haar moes die betalings reeds op 2 Junie verwerk word. Dit kon weens 'n tegniese fout tussen haar ministerie en die van finansies nie plaasvind nie. Die fout is intussen reggestel en die betaling sal teen Dinsdag afgehandel wees, het sy gesê. For our next news item. Namibia recorded low volumes of cargo for consignments transported during April 2022 via rail, air and sea. Hence, the transport composite cargo index recorded a decline on a monthly basis of 31.3% compared to a growth of 3.9% registered in March, according to the Namibia Statistics Agency. When compared to April last year, the index declined by 2%. The agency's trade statistics indicated that Namibia lost about 3.2 billion in export earnings during April this year. The value of exports stood at $5.5 billion, down from $8.7 billion recorded in March 2022. More specifically, the rail cargo index declined by 20% on a monthly basis for the period under review. The decline registered on a monthly basis was driven by the low volumes of predominantly copper consignments, copper concentrate, sulfuric acid, earth, ash and gravel transported. through rail. Given these developments, a total of 98,815 tons of goods were transported via rail during April 2022, NSA said. In addition, the air cargo index declined by 15.7% during April. The decline recorded on a monthly basis mainly emerged from low volumes of cargo for paints and varnishes, preserved fish, fruit juice, vegetable juices, manufactured tobacco, sunflower seed, cottonseed oil, other fixed vegetable fats and oils transported via air. For the period under review, a total of 293 tons of goods were transported via air, NSA pointed out. Moreover, the sea cargo index that consists of sea landed, sea transshipped and sea shipped recorded a decline of 48.4% in April, downward from a growth of 8.9% registered for March, NSA said. The volumes of cargo transported through road posted positive growth during April 2022, a total of $2 billion, representing 36.6% share of total exports left the country by road during April. And now for our last story. Global Startup Awards Africa's regional winners from across the continent with world-changing UN Sustainable Development Goals aligned solutions will come together for the first ever Global Startup Awards Africa event in Cape Town on the 14th and 15th of this month. Hosted by the Global Innovation Initiative Group, the event is a culmination of a 6-month-long process of extensive and rigorous research, networking and collaborations across the globe, with the aim of finding Africa's most promising innovators. With the help of 30 country partners, 50 ambassadors and 250 innovation hubs, the Global Startup Awards Africa found close to 8,000 startups and ecosystems actors from 54 African countries with solutions to addressing 12 of the 17 identified SDGs. With a cohort of 215 independent industry expert jury members, the nominated startups and ecosystem enablers went through 3 rounds of judging and 2 rounds of public voting, which then narrowed down the search to 500 country winners, 60 regional winners, and finally 12 continental winners that were announced virtually earlier this year. Through this active engagement of startups, participants were surveyed and invaluable data collected, which allowed the organization to unequivocally get to the core of what specific needs and challenges are faced by African startups. By hosting the event, the Global Startup Awards Africa can facilitate honest and forthright conversations to address not only the day-to-day business challenges affecting industry disruptors and innovators, but the immediate needs of climate change and the planet. The winners will have the opportunity to present and workshop with industry experts, corporate policymakers, global family offices, institutions, and UHNWIs who are seeking to invest SDG-aligned technologies from Africa.
The Discover Namibia Inter-Africa Trade Expo and Business Summit that was hosted here in Swakopmund by the Africa Economic Leadership Council on the 23rd and the 25th was a success. We had about, I think we started to organize this event for 2 months.
Yeah.
So it took us 2 months to put together that project.
Okay.
Our aim and objective, since we were launching Swakopmund last year in 2021, we felt that we didn't do enough justice to do what we wanted. So we felt like we need to do a 3-day conference here, unpacking how to do business on the continent, and under the Continental Free Trade Agreement area, which is now the visionary economic project of the AU Agenda 2063, the Africa we want. So the program, I think what we had is that we are very grateful that we had partners who believed in us, that had carried, that made sure that we were able to have a successful event. Obviously with many other small businesses and in kind and in different other capacities that were assisted by other companies. So, but yeah, all I could say is that we, as founders, we are very happy that we were able to carry out this activity and we're able to finish it as planned.
If you look at the highlights, what would you consider the highlights of the event?
The highlight of the event is, I think, having our friends from Ghana coming all the way to share how Africa can do business to their fellow Namibians who are here, and business people, and our delegate from Nigeria, Rwanda, Zambia, Cameroon, to name a few, and our Namibian delegates. I think there was a lot of rich information of about products, about new markets, and we even had Okahao City Council, Town Council coming. We gave them a platform to promote their investment opportunities, and that I think was one of like, wow, Okahao. I mean, we have thought that Okahao can be able to be on stage and talk about the opportunities, investment opportunity. I think we also had Let's Go and FNB and DBN talking about finding the African entrepreneur, especially what we're looking at, that the people who came, I mean, food security, for instance, I mean, from money, how can you fund? I mean, DBN is saying that if you can start your business from Namibia and you have an African vision, we can fund it, but you must be in Namibia. And we will, obviously the product Namibia can, FNB also have a similar to say that we can also fund, we are operating in different African countries. Food security, we have used now our friends from the other countries to share how we can collaborate, the entrepreneurs can collaborate and come up with synergies. We had a discussion about young people in the continent in business. That was a very robust discussion, and this was not just about putting young people there. It was about, are you young people ready to take advantage of your destiny, which is now, not tomorrow? There was a rich program from movement of goods in the continent, from food security and agriculture in the continent, from tourism, redefining Pan-African tourism and creating new markets in tourism. That was also very hot work. And then we had also presentations from SAPU, how SAPU entrepreneurs can benefit from SAPU in the new, under the Continental Free Trade Agreement area. We had a presentation from NAMPOT. NAMPOT remained one of the biggest partners. If we are to become an economic stable Namibia, NAMPOT can, if they play their role very well, we can really leverage, and many entrepreneurs are looking for the port. There's a lot of question about the port. Obviously next year we wish that, and we know and we are confident that NAMPOT will come on board more heavily, because a lot of questions are around NAMPOT, not just about the presentation, but they wanted to see the executive directing how can African benefit utilizing NAMPOT. There was also a discussion about salt, because we provide salt to Ghana and Cameroon and Nigeria. And a lot of the entrepreneurs, some of the delegates who came, really even yesterday, how can we get the salt, the cargo, how can we move cargo between Douala and Namibia to bring more merchandise? We see an opportunity. So they, among other interests.
So would you say that the objective was met, and that the constructive networking took place, and that business deals were made?
Yeah, and I think, I mean, having had also we are not Africa as much as we are Pan-African, and our mandate is to be able to make sure that we attract business for the African continent. We also invited our Japanese friends, the chairperson, executive chairman of the JETRO, which is a Japanese government chamber from Joburg, and the embassy of Japan. They discussed, they said that we only have one Japanese company that is doing Namibia with Japan, and I think now the man from horse's mouth was here. How do we make sure that Africa can get more business, especially Southern Africa, of Japanese business? And we also had the chance, I think the objective in terms of, I think everybody, there was a lot of positives. I think there's a lot of positive, people are hungry. We want this, can you give us more time? And I think what we learned from this, many companies wanted to be on board, but due to the time and then obviously the budget constraints and the financial year end that many companies were faced with. But we know that next year we can do better and next time. And we are already calling on those companies who want to, we will bring Africa here again to Namibia.
You mentioned something that the next event will be in Windhoek next year.
We are still discussing, obviously we are still passionate about Swakopmund, but again, it depends on to organize an event like this, it costs a lot of money. And I can tell you that, it keeps you sleepless nights. We are looking at Windhoek as well. We're looking at Swakopmund. We even get an invitation from Okao. We even get an invitation from Ochivarongo that we must, obviously, for us as Africa Economic Leadership Council, we are not about staying in one area. We are about looking at different locations in the African continent and making a decision based on that. But Swakopmund is our headquarters, and that's why we feel like we did our part to be able to put Swakopmund on a map to the African continent. You know, there's a new Africa, I think post-COVID. And I think as Africa Economic Leadership Council, I don't even think I know definitely that we are the organization that will enhance Africa, that will together to come up with new initiative, especially economic emancipation of the continent, where Africans are not able to just be in their own locality, but they're able to trade in other localities in the African continent. And that is what our aim and objective is as Africa Economic Leadership Council. We want to create summits and exhibitions and B2B sessions in different locations in the continent, unpacking how to do business in these different localities. We want to talk to the BIPAs of these countries, the investment promotion boards of these countries in Africa, so that our members and our partners will be able to go with us. And by the end of those summits, they're able to like, wow, I can now do business in Botswana and Zambia, and I know exactly, and that is our mandate, ultimate mandate, that we are the partner that will create the gateway to economic prosperity for many entrepreneurs on the continent.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and good luck for the future.
And now for your weather. Sunset at the coast will be at 24 minutes past 6 on Wednesday, and sunrise will be at 38 minutes past 7 on Thursday. Walvis Bay will have a maximum degrees Celsius of 27 on Wednesday, and for Thursday a minimum of 17 and a maximum of 27 degrees Celsius. A 19 northwesterly wind will prevail. Swakopmund will have a maximum degrees Celsius of 26 on Wednesday, and for Thursday a minimum of 16 and a maximum of 26 degrees Celsius. A 19 northwest wind will prevail. Walvis Bay will have a maximum degrees Celsius of 27 on Wednesday, and for Thursday a minimum of 16 and a maximum of 27 degrees Celsius. A 22 northwesterly wind will prevail. Arandis will have a maximum degrees Celsius of 30 on Wednesday, and for Thursday a minimum of 15 and a maximum of 31 degrees Celsius. A 22 northeasterly wind will prevail. Oostkos will have a maximum degrees Celsius of 28 on Wednesday, and for Thursday a minimum of 8 and a maximum of 28 degrees Celsius. A 15 northeasterly wind will prevail. Karabab will have a maximum degrees Celsius of 26 on Wednesday, and for Thursday a minimum of 6 and a maximum of 26 degrees Celsius. A 17 northeast wind will prevail. Omaruru will have a maximum degrees Celsius of 26 on Wednesday, and for Thursday a minimum of 6 and a maximum of 26 degrees Celsius. A 15 northeasterly wind will prevail. And that concludes your weather.
And that brings us to the end of our show today, and we are so happy that you could join us. For more on the news, you can go to our website at erongo.com, www.erongo.com, and you can also see our Facebook posts, which we keep updated with news and events, breaking news and events. You can also go and see our broadcasting platforms on oneup2.com, as well as GoTV and NTV, which is on DSTV. And if you have any news that you want to share with us, please email it to us at the below address, or you can either send us a message or call us on the below number, and we'll have a look at it. So thanks again for joining us. Remember, next week, we are having our 500th episode of Erongo Talk. And so we hope to bring you something special. So stay tuned.